Alright boys and girls, and welcome back to another building video. This time I'm bringing you all a single TC solo duo simple base design. This one expands from your standard 2x1 into something so much greater, taking up a tiny build plot, packing a massive punch. This base preps for absolutely everything you could hope to encounter: offline raids, online raids, and just daily quality of life. It's prepped for everything. Little side announcement for this one is, well, I recently uploaded a PvP video, and it seems to have been very well received. It just so happens there's a few more of those on the way. The majority of you who watch the channel most likely just know me as a builder, but I do like to do a little bit of sharpshooting on the side. They're short and sweet and they go down well with a little bit of food. Appreciate you boys and girls, and of course it's 2025 at the time I'm recording this. So hopefully you all had an amazing year last year, and hopefully this one is even better. As you can see, I'm already kicking it off with some new changes. Hoping you love those all. If you guys ever have any questions on settings or help for the bases, remember there's the Discord down below where you can find me and lots of other talented builders, a lot of other useful stuff in the cord, not to mention the custom base designs. If you like my building style and you're looking for something to call your own, you can purchase your own base design, created purely by me, including everything you could ever want inside. Appreciate it guys, let's get on with today's video. Alright, so you can see this base has a sort of exterior shell, and you could treat that as a compensation for the lack of compound. Of course, compound could be added if you wanted to, along with externals. It'd be super simple. But you can see two turrets cover this area super nicely. And then we have two retake bedrooms as well, watching out of that funnel, which is going to be a really nice angle once those doors get removed and people start breaching in. You'll be able to hold it down from this bed spot. Two beds and a locker in there sit perfectly as well, which is super handy. And then you'll see as we go along, we're going to have 4 squares that are pretty much spare, and those can be used for anything that you guys can come up with, whether that's planter boxes, maybe electric furnaces, some exterior furnaces for farming charcoal, anything you guys really need as the wipe goes along. Those squares are going to be spare for those. A couple of head glitch angles as well, super nice for looking out and around throughout the base, with a pay to win brutalist angle down the center too. You can see there are inner peek downs to this level as well to make sure nobody's running around here that shouldn't be. You'll be able to watch them from above and ensure they're not up to no good. Around the backside there was our entrance to the main base. But we do also have a quick shoot here that I want to demonstrate first. It takes us into our shooting floor level to give us some extra mobility and make sure we can go from those bedrooms down below to somewhere important while main mobility may be compromised. But we'll head back through and show the main way into the base for now. If this jump is a little tricky, you can add a siren light or a ladder or anything else to make that jump more lower hour friendly, and then we can come into the second floor here. So we've got 2 loot rooms on this level that are separated from side to side with a lot of garage doors in between, and they act as honeycombing from the outside of the base. Plus a couple of other loot rooms there behind the single doors, and we have our drop down to the core over here as well. You can see this bad boy has been stair bunkered, and if you're on console then you can add in the roof bunker instead. Either way works super easy, and that's going to make your base a little bit stronger in the early game, and add that bunker down into your 2x1 starter. That's the main upkeep on the TC, nice and manageable hopefully for you boys. And then we can wrap back through up to the second floor, and we could walk up to the third. Third floor's got a spot for some beds here, so you just put the bed there, and another bed there with some boxes behind, giving you good spots to re-kit from. And then we can airlock out into our shooting floor. Shooting floor's got a lot of nice offset downward angles. Nobody can ladder through these spots or fall through either once the embrasures are in. It's going to give you the inner peaks level down into the shell below, and it's going to let you see who's going out and around outside the base too. These are great angles down below, good head glitches, and it's going to give you a wide view around the base, making sure we don't miss any angles whatsoever, and allowing you guys to focus on what's below. Overall, nice little shooting floor, really spacious as well for a solo duo. For a base this size, it's actually a massive shooting floor to work with. Got breach peaks on here as well, turned into head glitches on the left and right, with the brutalist peak down the middle as well. These brutalist peaks are also our jump ups to roof, so keep that in mind, and you can retake the roof from them as well, looking back up onto roof 2. As we move along, you can see the other breach peak over here, and both of these allow you to go up onto roof, or you can look through the embrasures back up onto roof as well. We do have retakes out here as well. Up on roof, 2 turrets cover really perfectly, and I love how these sit. They've got the chain link in front to keep them protected, hard to HV, and they do watch the entirety of roof really nicely. Super impressive the way these line up. Really like how they work. And then we get some more downward angles up on roof with some faraway angles too. decently covered up here as well, so if there is a raid base, you could still utilize the roof without them seeing on top entirely. Spot for a minicopter up here where the turrets can still watch and make sure nobody flies away. Or you can even throw your minicopter down below in the minicopter garage. If you don't think you're going to be rocking the vehicles though, this is still a fine spot for some bedrooms and an amazing spot for a drone accessible vending machine here as well to make some sales. So overall, a nice solo base, great for a long wipe, and hopefully you boys and girls are impressed with this one. Let me go ahead now and break down the build cost. First of all, on screen is the total build cost. That includes all the deployables. Second up is the build cost in box mounts to make it easier to visualize everything you'll need. Lastly on screen is the upkeep. And of course, that's spread between one TC, and everything's going to go in there. And feel free to add other TCs if you'd like, or I can show you in the Discord down below. All right, let's kick off this tutorial by throwing down a 2x1 footprint. And if you're going to be utilizing the stair bunker, you'll need to double half wall the wall on the right. Then we have a single door exit, twig triangle over here, and you'll only need that triangle there when you're placing the bunker. So you don't really need to have it there for now. You can just throw some boxes or barrels on the floor, and it'll leave the 2x1 feeling a lot more spacious as well, as you don't have to operate purely out of one square. We have a 2 single door airlock out into a double door. And then this needs to be a deployable jump up if you are using the stair bunker. So keep that in mind. We exit the base from a single door. There's a frame on the right. You can either make that a frame or a window, depending on what you want the loot room to be covered by. So keep that in mind as well. We staircase up to the floor as well. And then we can just seal the floor above. Just get that done now. So we have a bit of roof access and some roof camping capabilities early on. Just like that. Double door frame there, and that single door is actually the main entrance into the base. Now we're obviously going to want to continue from here. We can't be leaving the doors so open like this. So come around the opposite side, and we use none of these triangles. So you can full honeycomb that in. And then from there, we can finish off our second floor. Again, that double door can either be a window or a double door, depending on what you find more convenient. And then you have that single door there for a barrel loot room. We'll make the loot rooms now. Even though they're floating, it just makes sense to do it in this order, so we can quickly seal off the second floor and have no issues. Or if you're going for the window loot rooms, then that will be an early game shooting floor. There we go. Go ahead and airlock off the starter base as well now. We can raise up the triangle in front, and then we'll add our airlock into the second floor. Accessing this level will be as simple as adding a deployable or a temporary twig jump up, whatever works for you at the time. We won't be leaving the base in this stage for long, as it is rather cheap to build. We'll go ahead and break that now because it is in the way of the rest of the building process, but while you're going in and out, that's what you can use. I'm going to add in the frames below this level here, just because the floating part is making me feel weird, and I want to finish that off. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and get the rest of the footprint down as well, so that we know our build spot is going to fit in the selected area we've chosen. So from the airlock, you can turn that into an entire hexagon, just like that, with a raised triangle pointing far away for the breach peak. And then you double square like that to create this little funnel section here. The funnel square is not technically connected to the rest of the foundations. It does need that half wall frame to link it to the main TC, or else you're going to have some decaying issues. So keep that in mind. Foundations like that are not technically touching. While they are close to each other, they will not upkeep each other. So we need that half wall frame. There we go. Footprint complete. We need to do one more bit on either side just to wrap it off, the little bedroom sections here. But that's all the space we need for the build, which is not bad at all. Coming back down below, we'll start working on the bedrooms. These are the funneled doors. You can wrap it around the back. Give it a layer of half heights coming through the triangles so we can have some patricos. Sealing that off, and the windows go in. Then we need double doors, and those need to swing out the way so that we cover up the gap. Just like that. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll go around and do that on the opposite end. Once we've done that, we can wrap in the 4 spare squares, and those just get completely walled in with a floor on top. And those are completely for you to use. Once those are done, we can work on the breach peak section. Remember, there are inner peaks down to this level as well, so don't rush ahead. But this is what this area looks like. We can also raise up the combing in front of this section too. And remember, we have a ladder hatch chute straight to shooting floor from this level as well. In order to seal the gaps, you will need an embrasure facing in the way like this. And then we can build that area over on the opposite side as well. Once we've done that, we can floor in the rest of our shell. And you can see that this all seals up pretty nice and nobody can get down without following the door path. If you're afraid somebody's going to sit up here, you can throw some barricades down and make sure they don't look through the gaps above if that's going to be annoying for you. Up on 3rd floor, we'll make the airlock out onto our shooting floor level, and that's just going to keep us a little bit safer for now while we build. And then once you've done that, you can raise the frames above the spare squares on all 4 sides. And then just add a floor on top with an offset triangle like that, creating our shooting floor gaps, exactly the same as below. On these squares here, we do a little breach peak, and if you have the Brutalist skin, I'd recommend using that for this ramp. From the breach peak, we have our little roof exit like this, and then we also create a turret pod as well. And you can do that on the opposite end too. Adding in these low wall sections here makes it harder for people to use these angles against you, and hopefully let you guys head glitch a little bit tighter against players as well. So don't forget those. If you find that you're getting ankle bitten in your own shooting floor, you can utilize those. And we float a frame here, and later on that'll be used for a Patrico up above. And then you can wrap in the spare squares just with windows with a wall as well. You can leave out the ramp and throw down beds if you prefer. It's just going to give you the opportunity to crouch with the AK up on these levels. Add windows on windows again, so we can use that angle up on roof, and we'll need some frames down here for extra stability on these triangles. Up on roof, we can add a window with some low walls on it too. And then in the center of the base, we can create the copter hangar with the vending machine spot as well. Triangle roofs on top of the spare squares. And then you can create the airlock from roof. And do that on both sides. Last thing to do is the turret pod with the windmill. Add in a back wall with some frames in front. We'll need a half-height triangle for the turret to sit on, and that low wall is going to let it see above on roof too. Once you've done that, you can throw some windmills on top and get your chain link in for the turret. And then once you've done that, that completes the base design. Hopefully you boys and girls have enjoyed this video. If you did, then please feel free to leave me a like and drop me a comment down below. Remember to check out the custom bases in the Discord and join too if you need any help whatsoever. Feel free to give the PvP videos a watch as well if you like the look of those. And I'll see you boys and girls in the next video. See you in a bit.